This is Modern Manno. Now, likely you found this video because you were searching the YouTube psychosphere looking for a little clarity on a milestone you've reached recently in your dating and relationship life. And this particular cherry that got popped is the unforgettable and oh so awkward time when you hear the words, "I need space," uttered to you for the first time by a woman. Or maybe you're a guy who's got some mileage on you, some experience with women, and upon hearing these words repeated to you again recently, you're now committed to decoding their meaning. If you're either of these guys, please take a seat, get comfy, because we're going to break it all down by going through an email from one of my coaching clients, Blake, which I think perfectly encapsulates this theme, which I've seen repeat numerous times in the dating and relationship lives of others, as well as of myself. Yes, I too have experienced the sting and the sinking feeling that you get when a woman utters these magic words. I need space. It's almost poetic, isn't it? It's because it is. It's haunting verse that has repeated itself over and over in the history of broken relationships with a rhyme so bittersweet. In my opinion, it's a rite of passage for a man to hear as he's going forward, getting his experience. But how a man reacts upon hearing these words can determine whether he enters a prolonged period of pain and confusion or whether he is able to rise above and maintain the course he is meant to be on as a man. So let's hear what Blake has to say. Dear Manno, I hope you are surviving this relentless year. It's been a doozy, but overall I've surprised myself by how well I have adapted. Our company transferred to work from home in the spring and I felt grateful to have a lot more freedom, so I began spending time reading books and trying new things like meditation, and even began adhering to a pretty strict diet and exercise regimen for once in my life. In the summer, despite my even focusing on finding a girlfriend, an incredible woman found her way into my life and we've been together for just over 4 months. Isn't it amazing how things work out like that? When you're in the zone, when you're doing things for yourself, others just sense that attraction, or others sense that vibe, and they're attracted to you naturally when you're in the zone like that. This lady was so much better than I ever could have anticipated. I could feel the connection almost immediately just through our initial messages to each other. Our first date was almost like a dream come true. She was everything I wanted and more. I felt so good about things that on our second date, I told her that I wanted her to know that I would not be seeing any other girls because I truly felt she was worth it and wanted her to know that I was focusing on making things work with her. So on the surface, this sounds like a noble thing to communicate. However, for Modern Manno, it has all the alarm bells going off right away. Exclusivity talk on the second date? How could he have been so sure? Was it divine clarity? Was it all the text chitter-chatter that he had done in between? Please refer to my other video, Text Relationships Are Fake, for my full thoughts on the matter and how texting and social media cannot be a gauge to see how your relationship is going, especially in the early dating stage. So what was it? Could it have possibly been that Blake was already afraid of possibly losing this woman? Could it have been that Blake at that time was just not really in the correct abundant mindset he should be in to let things happen organically? He must have felt the need to lock this girl down because maybe he felt that another chance with another great girl wasn't going to come. Men and women commonly tend to think this way when they meet someone that they really like. They tend to make exceptions for themselves in their minds and make decisions that go against their better judgment because it's the old idea of, well, maybe what happens in the movies doesn't happen to everyone, but surely it'll happen to me. Let's hear the rest of Blake's story. The course of the relationship was a dream. She would text me a good morning and good night every day, despite me telling her she didn't have to. She was incredibly communicative, which was unlike any of my other previous girlfriends. In other words, you accepted the fantasy quickly and you trusted this girl's willingness to engage in chit-chat to be the barometer of your relationship. I'm not saying that the stuff is always automatically bad. Communication is good, but text evidence does nothing for me in determining how well a relationship is going or how much someone likes me in the early stage. What should be trusted is someone's willingness to give you their time and their presence. That's what you should look for always. Does someone make it easy to schedule dates with you? That's a better sign of how things are going than all the good mornings and good nights and emojis and stuff that you get. But Blake goes on. We went on a couple trips together, and things got even more serious when she finally introduced me to her 6-year-old daughter, Emily, after dating about 6 weeks. I had never been a father before, and the experience of bonding with Emily was a very different experience for me, but I really started to like it. And because of all this, I thought my relationship with my girlfriend was solid. After 5 months of dating, we even started making serious plans and arrangements for how we would all be spending the holidays together. When someone lets you into their life over time, that's a good sign. And it seems like Blake has a positive attitude about this and getting to know her daughter. That's a great thing as well. He felt that the planning and the future vacations and the holidays that they were planning was evidence that his relationship was going well and that these were good signs. But we're going to find out that even this stuff wasn't enough for him to avoid what was actually coming. Then one night out of the blue, 2 weeks ago, I tried to make some weekend plans with her. But she texted me back saying that she had been feeling weird that night. Confused, I quickly gave her a call to ask her what she meant. Her tone was different than it had ever been before. I could tell she was having a hard time communicating to me how she felt, but she expressed to me how she needed to have some space from our relationship. My friend, that's where your cherry had gotten popped. Basically, she told me she had recently come to the realization that she still had some wounds to heal from her past relationships. And even though I had been a great boyfriend, she felt that we needed a little time apart. When I dug a little bit deeper, I got her to reveal some uncertainty she had had about her feelings for me. She specifically brought up my asking for exclusivity on the second date and about how it may have caused her to rush her emotions for me. She also mentioned that her mother had cautioned her about the amount of time I was spending at her house with her and her daughter, considering that we weren't yet married. You guys, when I was speaking with Blake, I had to tell him over and over that I had been there too. I too had experienced the trial by fire that it is gaining experience in dating and relationships. But this was not a girl that was telling her boyfriend she needed space to go spend some time with her girlfriends or some space to go decompress for a little bit. This was a girl that was telling her boyfriend that she wanted space from him because she was uncertain about the way she felt for him. If you've experienced this yourself, especially if it's your first time, I know it hurts. I know it's painful when you go all in on somebody with your emotions, only to have the rug pulled out from under you. But the way you respond when this happens is so crucial. I ended the call agreeing to give her space, and now it's been almost a week and a half. I have not heard from her at all. The good mornings and good nights have completely come to a halt. This once very communicative woman has seemingly vanished from my life. I've now given her the gift of space, and I know it would not be right for me to reach out to her again first, but I simply have to know how such a close relationship could have gone cold so quickly. I'm reeling because I truly did not see this coming, and I didn't think she would end things so suddenly, especially when I had been making so much progress getting to know her daughter. Now I'm in this gray area, not really sure if I'm broken up with or not. I just wish I knew why she changed so suddenly. What's your insight, and do you have any advice on how I can proceed? I'd love to save the relationship if possible. But either way, I would love some closure. Best, Blake. In the most tender way possible, I informed Blake that his relationship was probably over with. He had received the "I need space" / "not sure about this relationship" speech, and then suffered for over a week and a half while a woman of his dreams kept him in the dark, took her space, subsequently ended the relationship, and left him even without the good mornings and good night text he had gotten accustomed to. This is because Blake's girlfriend, by the time she had communicated to him what she did on that call, she had already made the final decision for herself. Gentlemen, "I need space" is the kiss of death. It means that for whatever reason, a woman's attraction for you has stopped growing organically. It can sometimes be spurred on by the ways we try to force things in a relationship, or, as in the case of Blake, spurred on by an excitable young man who's pledging exclusivity on only the second date, before even getting to know a woman, and before that woman's feelings for him were given the chance to develop slowly over time, as they should. Blake also writes about his need for closure. And of course, it's common for us to want to know the reasons why someone is pulled away from us. Do I think it would have been nice if Blake's girlfriend had sat him down and gone over the full list of how she feels and why she feels the need to take her space and subsequently end the relationship? Sure. But how could he have trusted what she had to say then and there? I mean, think about yourself. Do you like giving people bad news? It sucks, right? In fact, most humans will do whatever we can to go around and not have to deliver bad news to people, including coming up with excuses. Excuses like, it's not you, it's really me. So, was it just that Blake's girlfriend felt a little bit too rushed in the relationship? Was it that she had lost sexual attraction for him? Was it maybe a new man had come in the picture for her? Doesn't he have to know? Men, when you're faced with this kind of thing, I want you to close your eyes and remember the epic final scene of one of my personal favorite movies, Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. It's the scene when Indy's father is trying to rescue Indiana from falling down into a chasm as Indy continues to reach out to try to grab the Holy Grail. The Holy Grail being that prize, that treasure, that thing that he is most obsessed with. And then in a very poignant, amazing, powerful moment, Indiana's father, played by the great Sean Connery, quietly tells him, Indiana, let it go. So let it go, boys. When a woman decides to take her space from you, when she puts you and all your amazing qualities up on a shelf, when she indicates that she is not choosing you anymore, you have to, in the moment, have the courage to tell yourself to let it go. Don't let your attachment to a woman or your necessity to have the why explained to you fully drag you down into a pit of pain that I've seen too many men fall into. And it's also a pit that I myself have had to climb out of a couple times. How do I get my ex back? Is one of the most commonly searched questions for dating and relationship advice. And I've found that the best advice is usually given by coaches that tell you that if there's any hope for you to get your girlfriend back, it's in giving her the distance and space that she requests. However, most guys just default to their programming. This programming comes to them from their upbringing, or they learn it from things like romantic comedies, where men are told that in order to win a girl's heart, they must constantly chase her, carry out grand gestures of their love, and overall devalue themselves in the process. This is not how it works in real life. Don't be fooled by it. In the vast majority of cases, the truth about why breakups happen to people, real people like us, is because the other person was just ultimately not right for us. And we shouldn't go chasing after people who don't want us in their lives. Instead, we should take the braver and, I say, ultimately more heroic course of action, and that is to find acceptance. You deserve to be with someone who wants to be with you, as you are, in the moment, not someone that you have to prove your worth to. So take all your romantic comedy DVDs, if you still have DVDs, and burn them, because they're just filled with stories about people who go chasing after other people in order to fill holes in their own lives. But keep a few of the classics like Indy around so we can be reminded about heroes we can aspire to. And in that case, a hero who is able to set himself free from a perilous pursuit that was going to bring him down forever, and instead he deferred to the inner treasures that he carried with him the whole time. Gentlemen, this is Modern Manno, dating and relationship coaching for men. Please subscribe so I can continue to bring you these messages, and email me or hit me up on my Instagram DM if you would like private coaching with me. Until next time, viva la revolucion.